Hey everybody, it's JJ at realitysurvival.com, and I really appreciate you stopping by. Today we are going to take a look at some fire building basics. I watch quite a bit of TV and survival shows and all that kind of stuff, and read a lot of different survival blogs as well and those kind of things. And one of the things that I think is missing is when people talk about fire, they don't really go into the fundamentals, the things that are most important for a fire to breathe well and to work well, and to actually get built up so that it's usable, in an emergency type situation. All too often you see guys grab a little bit here and there off the ground and they kind of put it together in this little smoldering pile, and then they kind of hope that it becomes a fire, and in some cases aren't successful. And it can be tough building fire under rough conditions, but if you have the right preparation and you gear towards the right fundamentals, then you're going to find that your success in building fire is going to go up tremendously. And the things that you need to think about are fuel, air, and your ignition source, your heat source. You have to have those three for fire to work. And the thing that is, in my opinion, most commonly overlooked is air. When you start to build a fire, you need to prepare your area. You need to lay out something to keep your kindling and your tinder dry. You need to find a platform to put your material on to keep it from laying in the moist or damp grass. And then you need to have a brace which goes perpendicular to that platform that's about the size of your forearm. And then when you lay this stuff down and you start to build a fire, you basically take your bundles of kindling, you lay them across that brace, right across the top of that tinder flame, and you leave it alone. You don't have to mess with it. And then once the fire comes through there, you set on another bundle, and you leave that alone. And then once it comes through that bundle, fire comes up through it, then you set the other one on. And when you do that, if you do those three things, if you do it as it goes, you'll find that you'll have a fire that's waist high, just like that. You just got to follow the fundamentals. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through and kind of show you the fundamentals of how to build your basic squaw wood fire using dead twigs and branches, and then a birch bark tinder. Okay, now this is the first thing that you need. The first piece of where your fire is going to go starts with your platform. Alright, these pieces right here are your platform, and what you're trying to accomplish with the platform is you want a bed of something that is dry and solid that will keep your tinder from laying in wet ground. A lot of different tinders tend to soak up moisture fairly quickly, and so you want to avoid building it right on the ground if you can. This may seem like a little bit of overkill in some people's opinion, just because they have built fire on the ground before in the past and they think it won't make any difference in a tough situation. But trust me, when it gets really wet and you're in dire circumstances, this helps in a lot of ways. It also helps build a big, strong bed of cold as it burns through and keeps your tinder dry. And it also helps to reflect the heat from the tinder back up into the pile so that your flame will grow faster. Now the second part of this is your brace. You want to have a brace that is really about the size of your forearm. An adult man's forearm, that's the size diameter that you're looking for, 3-4 inches or so. And you want to set that perpendicular, and then whenever you go to grab your first bundle of kindling, you're going to put that perpendicular to that brace, right over the top. Your tinder bundle is going to lay right down in here, and it's going to create plenty of air and plenty of space for that tinder to burn and come up through the kindling and really get a fire going good. So let's go ahead and break out the tinder and see how it goes. Okay, now I told you earlier that you need to have some preparation and some forethought going into this. Whenever you're building a fire, especially if it's in a tough wilderness situation, you need to think about what you're going to do in the next hour. So that means that you might need to lay out a ground cloth if you have one. You may need to build a shelter. If it's raining, you might need to get some shelter over your head, at least a temporary one, so that you can prepare all this stuff without it becoming more and more soaking wet. So just something to think about. Now let's take a look at the platform. Okay, so what I'm going to use for this tender is birch bark. This is what it looks like. It's basically just a papery, airy little bundle, strips of bark that I've pulled off of a birch bark tree once. It's an excellent tinder. It tends to flame up very well and sustain its flame. So that's what we're going to use for this demonstration. So I'll lay this down here, put it down underneath this brace here, and I'll get it going first. Okay. Notice that I don't put any kindling over this. I'm going to go ahead and get it going, let the tinder burn for a second, and then I'm going to lay my kindling on. Let that get going. Okay, so you don't have to be in any hurry here. That's the key thing that I think a lot of people overlook, is that if you've got a solid tender and you've got good preparation, it doesn't have to be a big rush. Okay, so we let that go for a second. We let it get going, and it would be the same way if it was a cotton ball and Vaseline or a man-made tender or anything like that. I take the whole bundle, okay, and I put it perpendicular to that brace, and I lay it right there, and I leave it alone. I don't need, if I get nice long and thin pieces of kindling, I don't need to do anything else to it. It's going to go, it's going to come up through that fire, and it's going to burn well. So now I'm going to go ahead, it came through the first bundle. I'm going to grab the second bundle. Notice, I'm not playing with it, I'm not moving stuff. I take the bundle, I lay it on, I wait for the flames to come through the second bundle, and I'll throw the third one on. There we go. I got the third one on. This is going to get going. Here in no time, I'm going to have a waist high fire.